Alright, hello my fellow gun lovers, this is a Gun Junkie here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Glock 43. Not the 43X, the 43. But before we start the video, guys, just to let you know that everything I say here in these videos are my personal thoughts and my personal opinions. You take them as you wish. Again, I've shot so many different kind of guns, and I've had different experiences than some other people. I'm not here to make any money, to get any sponsors, so if I see something wrong with the gun or, I don't like something, I'm going to point it out, and I'm going to say it truthfully. Again, I'm not here to get sponsors or get promotions, none of that stuff. So I'm here to give you a personal experience of my own to help you feel that experience as well. Because these things are dangerous tools. These things can, be a life and death situation. So I take it seriously. I'm here to actually talk about these things because they can either save or not save your life. So again, I take these things really, really seriously. And yeah, so let's start about that. What do I think about the Glock 43? Now, the Glock 43, at first I didn't like it. So the only Glock gun I've liked was the Glock 19. The Glock 19 was my everything to go gun. My favorite gun of all time, Glock 19. I'm not a Glock fanboy. Again, I hated the 26. I hated the 17. I hated all the other Glocks for some reason. I didn't like them. They weren't my jam. I shot them all. I owned them all. And I didn't like them. So my friend was like, all right, try the Glock 43. I hated the 43X, by the way. But he said, try the 43. So I was like, okay. This was about a year and a half ago. So I was looking everywhere. I was looking online. They were about $600, $700. I'm not going to pay that for, a pocket carry gun that only holds 6 rounds. So yeah, I was looking everywhere. I couldn't find it. Well, once I was at my gun store and I saw it, I came across it. I saw it, it was $250. And I was like, what the heck? Why is this $250? Is it working? I checked it all. Everything was good. Brand new gun. So I was like, okay, well, they might have, I don't know what's going on. It's $250. It's a steal. I'm buying it. So I bought it. I put in about 1,000 rounds. And again, like I said, at first I didn't like it. I loved the size of it. It felt really good in my hand as well for the size of the gun. The recoil was really good for the size of the gun. I was able to control this. My first 100 shots, I got it in like this little, for some reason, I was really accurate with it, just saying. But something I didn't really like was the trigger. The trigger was just bad. I don't know what it was. I just didn't like the trigger. So it just felt a little heavy for me. And yeah, I just something that I was like, okay, this gun just doesn't feel right. So I just said, okay, let me try changing the trigger. Let me make it lighter and see if I like it. I got, a 4-pound trigger. And I love the gun now. I can't say pretty much any negative thing about it right now. I really do love my gun stock. I don't like modifying the sights. I don't like modifying pretty much anything in it besides the trigger because I didn't like the trigger, and so far this has held up really well. Again, I don't really like pimping out my gun that much, but I did put like a red trigger, a little red and red. I went from a red and black thing, but that's the most customization I've done to any kind of gun. So yeah, see it as you will. I just take it very basic. I like iron sights. I'm just a very basic guy when it has to do with shooting, and I'm really good at shooting, so I stick with what I know. But yeah, again, I got the gun for $250. It was a steal. The trigger cost about maybe $80 because I know a friend. It's a really, really good trigger. And yeah, so far I've really liked this gun. In the past year, I've put in about 5,000 rounds. So yeah, I put in a lot of rounds, and people tell me, hey, well, how the heck do you afford to put in so many rounds and so many guns? And that's because, I'm pretty well off. So I'm not going to lie, I make good money. Pretty much my only hobby is guns. So I don't spend a lot of money on buying guns. I spend a lot of money on buying ammo. I do buy in bulk. So I do get some dry fires sometimes, especially with 22s. But most of the time, my 9mm is pretty solid. when you usually shoot a Glock, one thing I can say about a Glock is whenever I shoot a Glock, I don't really get duds, or I don't really get any issues with the gun. Every time I shoot with the Glock, I haven't really had an issue. I think I've only had one bad, dud coming out of my Glock. This one in the past 6,000 rounds. My Glock 19, I've only had two in like 20 something thousand rounds. So they're pretty good. I don't know if it's just luck or what it is, but those guns are really, really reliable. So Glock 43, loving it. Again, the only issue I had was the trigger. So if you actually want to get a Glock 43, I'd say they are on the pricier side. And if you buy it at a cheap price, I'd say you should get it. But if it's at a, high price, I'd say no, just because I feel like you'll have to change the trigger. It'll be a little bit more money. And people say, well, do you actually carry this gun? I do now. I got a new holster that actually helps me conceal. Because of work, I have to dress appropriately. I have to tuck in my shirt, look all good, and I can't carry because, the only gun I was able to carry was my Ruger LCP2. I didn't have an issue with carrying that. I do carry that and this now. I'll explain in my other video what holster I used to conceal this, but yeah, people are like, well, there's other guns out there that, you can probably conceal carry and have like 10 rounds, and the 43 has 10 rounds, or the 43X and blah, blah. And they say, well, I have 6 rounds here. I mean, 6 rounds is enough to stop a threat. And people are always going crazy about, hey, this has 12 rounds, this has 15 rounds, this is just a 6-round single stack. They complain and be about it. So the thing I want to say is that, again, to stop a threat, it takes 1, 2, 3 bullets. It doesn't take too many bullets to stop a threat. The thing that is key is if you have 15 bullets and you miss all 15 bullets, then what's the point? You have to educate yourself and educate your body to actually learn how to shoot these things. If you get really good at shooting these things, you can stop a threat. I've been in a suspenseful situation where I actually had to stop a threat, where I had one of my guns when I was going hiking with an animal, and I had to stop the threat. So, I didn't want to do it, but it came to a point where I was scared. I pulled it out, I felt the pressure, and I had to shoot. But because I had all that training, that helped. The target was coming to me, an animal was coming to me, and I was able to aim calmly, shoot, and stay focused. And one thing that I actually do want to point out is whenever you're in a situation like that, if you have to use your weapon, training is going to be a big thing. And one thing that people don't get is that I understand you go training to the range, but that's not like the reality. The reality of it is going to be that once you shoot the gun, when you're at the range, your ears are covered, so you're like, you're completely fine. It's still loud, but it's you're covered. When you're shooting a gun naked eared, where I had to use it, that thing is loud. Okay, your ears pop. So like when they pop, you have to maintain focus. So training is the biggest thing. Again, you can learn how to shoot a gun very well, but the reality is going to change once you hit reality, if you're ever in a real situation. So again, when people are like, hey, this has 20 bullets, 20 this, 20 round magazine and double stack, and it doesn't matter. The thing is that you need to try to hit your target as quickly as possible, because you cannot shoot 15 naked rounds, you get me, or naked ear rounds. Like 20 of that is going to pop your ears, it's going to damage you, and it's like, it's going to disorient you. So when people say, hey, 15, this gun has 15, this has 12, this is, the fewer the better, because you got to focus on actually hitting your target. You're not going to try to just shoot crazy, and it's just not. You have to be in that situation. Try going out there, shoot your gun without any headphones, and you're going to see that big difference. So that's one of the big things I also want you to take away from this. But again, 6 rounds isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal if you know what you're doing. It's all about knowing what you're doing. I carry 2 magazines of 6 rounds, so yeah, I mean, it's 12 rounds. That'll be more than enough for me to stop a threat. If I don't, then no matter how many bullets I have, I'm not going to be able to stop my threat because I'm not being accurate with my targets. So that's all I want to talk about in this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I apologize if I ranted a little too long, but again, I want these videos to be educational and honest and straightforward. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. So peace out.